Hello, this is Nanshu.
Hi, Nanshu. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Hello.
Hey, this is Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jing. Have you guys called in?
Hello, Anu. Zhongcheng and me are here. And yeah, and we are to welcome you 1 second.
Okay. So Zhongcheng, I saw you're trying to get on the web. I see two of your names, but I promoted you to a presenter so you can present your slides.
So I just send the slides to you.
Either that, or if you want to present your slides from your computer, you can also do that.
I'm trying to connect to the video.
If you're not able to connect, just send me the slides.
Okay. Hi, Anu.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just sent you the slide.
yeah, I saw it. I'm gonna just open it. Give me a minute. Okay. So I guess we can then get started. On the agenda today, we'll talk briefly about our action items, and then Zhongchang will present his CDE and coding work that he's been doing. He has some preliminary results to present, and then we also want to provide updates about the frequency count and other stats representation in that, as well as implementation in the index, for which we had a meeting yesterday. And then, if time permits, we could talk about the follow-up with regards to the NCE work that's going on. Before I forget, I just want to mention that on the call we have Elizabeth, Jeff, Jing, Zhongchang, and Siraj, Nansu. Is there anybody else on the line that I haven't called out? Okay, if not, then we go on. So for our action items, we have GDP and PCIA updated transformation. So Jeff, do we have any updates?
Yeah,
on
so
those?
we will, so Barak has started working on these. He just finished the testing of the auto update feature.
Okay.
And so we'll have these sometime next week. In regards to Endar, we had the call with Dan Hall. They gave us access to some services that aren't documented. And so we'll have also some new NDA data as well from some of the other projects.
Okay. So the auto
this will also be an update to the Endar data as well, since the Endar data is part of NDA now.
Right. So the auto update is updating feature is already going to be implemented in the production.
Well, we have to sit down. We have to figure out how we want to now implement the full chain, because we have to supply updates to you somehow that get automatically propagated. So potentially, maybe, in a week or two, we can add that as a topic to the Tuesday call.
Okay. I thought the plan was to kind of, as I remember from our plan previously, we were talking about maybe not going through the development server since it is going to be an update, right? So
So we just need to iron out how we want to do that. Yeah, but it was that we were not going to, if it was just a data update, those could potentially be passed directly, but we have to figure out how we want to do that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So let me know whenever you want us to discuss that, and we can do that. And for Viper, so I know that Nansu finished, and we have already indexed IRD and Viper, right? Or just one IRD?
Yeah, I think I need to review the transformations for those.
Oh, okay. So just since if we haven't indexed it yet, I wonder if we are going to be linking somehow to import at kind of the strain level. Is there something that we need to do additionally besides just listing the strain?
Maybe not. If it's just at the strain level, That should be okay. I mean, we should check the data on what strain information is there.
Okay. So I don't know. So I'm assuming that probably we have the sample data set, right? So maybe do you want Nancy to help you with it?
Yeah, no, I'll take a look. I was traveling the last 10 days, so.
Okay. So, and the next one that we wanted to do was actually work with the linkage of Geo and SRA with import, right? So, Nansu, I know you're working on it. Is there anything? Are there any questions or anything else that we need to be looking into?
No, we are good.
Okay. For IEDD, I think we are currently probably not focusing on it since Philippe and Alejandra are working on the other dimension work that we are doing.
Hi, Anu. I'm just saying hello on my side. Yeah.
Okay. So since we are on the call, Alejandra, Madhuri and I were going over the comments that you made for the mapping file that Madhuri generated. So I wondered if you would have a couple of minutes after this meeting is done to just go over it briefly.
After the meeting is a bit difficult for me, but let's see when we finish.
Okay. All right. If we finish early, then maybe we can talk about it. So for the ICPSR, due to privacy concerns, I think we did get 20 ICPSR data sets with variable level information. Did you get the link that George sent to the box?
A box link? I don't think.
I got it, but I haven't been able to go into it yet.
Was it from George itself or from Box?
No, I think it was from George.
Okay, so
check again, because I remember vaguely that I saw an email from George, which was, it says, it's actually from Box, and it says, okay, there you go. I just hadn't seen them. I can open it if you want.
Yeah, no, because I'm
okay.
buy at box.com. No, the last Box email I have is from last year.
Oh. I have some which says actually that it's basically written with variables for data match. So is this something that I should be able to share?
I mean, I don't know how the Box repo is set up. Maybe.
So you're on the list of people that are sharing it, though. By the way. I can send you the link again because there's a shared link that I can actually send out.
Okay.
So I will send that. And so we could take a look at that. I think then we can download it. I'll probably also send it to Sirat and Jing so we can download it and take a look at the variable level data that's coming in from ICPSR. So Jeff, once we have looked at it and we talk a little bit more in detail about how we want to model it in DAX and then potentially implement it in DataMesh, then we can go. Start again here in the meeting. And the other thing that actually I think was a request from a repository for indexing that came through probably yesterday was from the National Trauma Research Repository.
Right.
Which I assigned to Sanda because he was the one who was originally going through this request from George's group. And I also assigned it to you, Nansu. So once Sanda goes through it, collects additional information and stuff, then maybe we could get back. Hopefully by then you'll be done with the import work and we can get back to this.
Yeah, I received that. The National Trauma Research Repository.
Yeah. But I think Sanda has to probably take a look at it, and then she usually goes in, does a little bit more background research, and then puts in additional information to make a decision whether we go ahead with indexing or not. Presumably we will, but anyways.
Okay.
So for the DAX conversion on the API, I think Siraj has been working on it, and he has updated the index that is getting, that's being outputted through the API, and there is a sample that he has incorporated. So he had done. So this is the second iteration, I think. First time when he did it, I think Alejandra went back in and then made some modifications. And this is the second round which he's done. So if that could be reviewed, I can actually put this. Oh, okay, I can't apparently. But I can send out the link to everybody so you can go review it. Jeff, I don't know if you got the link that Siraj sent out. So if not, anyways, I'll send it out to the whole team. So,
I think I did.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. I deployed the new version in the web API now. So it's not this URL. It's not .index.php. So I deployed the new version on the web API. So now web API on DataMap beta is working with the new version.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, my bad then.
Yeah, so I received the link today, and I'm going to check it as soon as I can.
So it's basically directly the web API of DataMap data is what you're saying, Siraj, right?
Sorry?
It's basically the web API that we have on DataMap.
Yeah. So
right?
we don't need this link anymore. So it's on web API now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that the NYU library IUDB mapping is kind of a little bit on hold from what I understood last time from Philippe. And also I think we'll come back to the data type ontology in a little bit of time again. So Zhongcheng has a presentation that he has just put together. So let me, I'm just going to share. So do you see the presentation?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead, Zhongcheng.
Okay, thanks. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Zhongcheng Ji, postdoc of Hua. I'm glad to share with you my preliminary work on CD encoding. first I will introduce the concept and some examples of Finks CDE, dB gap, and the Finks dB gap variable mapping, and then I will show the CDE encoding task and my preliminary results.
Oops.
Oh, sorry.
No, I think I did something. I don't know what.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, in the Finks toolkit, each Finks measure has at least one corresponding CDE that is a Finks CDE, and the purpose of defining CDEs is to unambiguously represent the data. And this table shows the Finks variables. We can see it contains a variable name, the ID, Finks ID, and a variable description. For example, the age, about how old are you, yeah. Next. Okay. And the dB gap represents the results of genome studies and is maintained by an NCBI. This table shows some examples of dB gap variables. We can see that for the same study, it has some. It contains some different dB gap variable and the variable descriptions. Next. There are many variables conceptually the same and can be mapped between the Finks variables and dB gap variables. For example, the Finks variable birth date and day can be mapped to the following dB gap variables. The dB gap variables are talking about the born day, similar concept of birth date. Yeah. And so for the CDE encoding, our goal is to map the dB gap variable to the corresponding Finks variable. For example, given any of the dB gap variable, for example, the day born component, our task is to map this variable to the birthday day and just I list in the first line the Finks variable. So next. Yeah, I have got a mapping data from Arduino, and this is the basic statistic. It contains about 5,000 dB gap variables, 1,000 Finks variables, and it also contains a long variables and a protocol. In the dataset, there are about 25,000 mappings, and if we want to map the dB gap to Finks, I found that there are about 36% have more than 2 mappings, and 64% have only 1 mapping. I just show you some examples next. Yeah, for the dB gap variable in the first table, each element can be mapped to the next table of Finks variable. So this is a many-to-many mapping. They are talking about the age. Yeah. Next. And this many-to-many mapping is just talking about the birth weight. Yeah. DB gap arrival any of the DB gap arrival can be mapped to any of the banks of arrival. And they are talking the same thing. Yeah. Talking about the same thing. Next. Okay. So we define the problem as given a DB gap of arrival, our task is to return a list of relevant things. We just want to map the DB gap to the thing. Totally, we have 25,000 methods. Just five-fold result. I convert this task as a basic information retrieval task. So I just use BM25, a basic information retrieval model, as a baseline, and use a state-of-the-art learn-to-rank statistics to compare with the baseline BM25. In the learn-to-rank method, I just use a basic BM25 score and GCAS similarity scores, and other some heuristic features. Here I just show the basic preliminary result. We can see that the precision is not very high. So next I did some error analysis. Yeah, the first type of error is about word mismatch. Given a DB gap description, for example, the calendar year of birth, and here I just show two candidate things of arrival. The first one is talking about the date of birth, and the second one is birth date year. Actually, the golden standard is the second one, but it cannot be ranked in the first. That is because the birth in the DB gap description cannot be matched well with the golden standard birth date. So it is necessary to bridge the gap between different words that has the same meaning or similar meaning. Next. And the second type of errors is about focus mismatch. For example, the DB gap description is about this, and it's talking about the age. And here I show the top 3 candidates, and the number number third one is a golden standard. But the first two are not talking about the age. I just define this as focus mismatch. So we need to define some specific features to address these two issues. Okay, go next. Yeah, as a first step, I just address the first issue, just the word mismatch. I construct the parallel corpus from the matching data set. From the mapping data set. For example, the Banks description in the first column and can be mapped to the second and the third column. I just define it as a basic translation problem. I just want to translate the first column to the second and the third column. So I just use a popular translation toolkit to train word translation probabilities. I just show some examples here. For example, the birth date can translate to itself with 0.7 probability, and the birth date can, the probability between birth date and the birth is 0.07. And with these translation probabilities, we can bridge the gap between the birth date and the birth, and even born. Yeah. So I just calculated the translation score between the query, the translation score between the dbGaP arrival and the Finks of arrival, and introduce the translation score into the learn to rank method. Go to next. And here I show the final result with the translation probability. The final score can be increased a lot. The precision is 0.77. Yeah. This is my current work on CD encoding. And next time maybe I will introduce another feature just address the focus mismatch problem and other problems. Any questions?
So for this encoding task, does it make sense to actually increase precision at the cost of recall? Yeah. Is that the plan?
Can you further improve the precision? Make it high precision. You can improve the cutoff, right? Or the confidence score.
Yeah, we
I think the high precision is important.
Yeah.
Is this result on the CD?
Yeah, just map from dbGaP to Finks. Yeah. Previously, I just introduced the basic learn-to-rank. Here, I introduced the translation model, and it improves a lot. Yeah.
Good. So if we can further improve the precision, maybe we can really implement this in DataMax. 77% recall. Oh, precision.
Yeah, the recall is not high. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
So here it would be important to have high precision, right, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can miss some, but if we find some matched, then we can rank them high.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Zhongcheng.
Oh, thank you.
So are there any questions for Zhongcheng?
The conference has been unmuted.
Is it muted?
It wasn't, but I had a note from Alejandra saying she can't hear anybody. So I just wanted to make sure.
It was during the talk. There was a period in which I lost the sound, but then I recovered.
Oh, okay. So if there are no more questions for Zhongcheng, then I guess we can move on to the next step. So, but the Finex IDs that you're mapping, Zhongcheng, I think ultimately those have the CDE IDs, right?
Oh, sorry?
Those have the CDE IDs, right?
Yeah.
So do we also want to do the LOINC Because I think in the mapping file that we received from Finex for XWA, they had dbGaP variable ID mapped to their Finex IDs, which is basically the CDEs, normalized, and then those were mapped to the LOINC.
Map to LOINC?
Yeah, that's what they had done. I'm not sure that we want to do it.
I don't know how are all those like lab testing? That's why it's all mapped to LOINC. Is LOINC coverage enough?
So I didn't. So Zhongcheng, did you look at the LOINC mapping that they've done? I know you had a couple. I can show that. You had a couple of.
Yeah, I know the mapping, but currently I have not did the experiment on that. Maybe we can try it.
So they mapped it to LOINC, right?
Yeah, it has both. It maps both to Finks and LOINC. Yeah, it has.
Okay. Any other discussion items? No.
Yeah, so we had a meeting yesterday with Philippe and George's team and Jeff with regards to updating of DAX to accommodate statistics or statistics about the variables. For DataMed as well as for the Data Commons work. And so Jeff we wanted to talk about the implementation when we do it. So one of the things that we talked about is that the statistics for all of these would be pre-computed. And so George suggested that we could talk to Xiao Chen, who worked on the Count Everything, which was a supplement project for BioCaddy. So the idea is that.
Go ahead.
So the idea is that you would have. So from ICPSR, we are getting variable level information, and they have associated statistics for each of that variables, for each of the variables that they're providing us. So this would be modeled in DAX in the dimension field. Philippe is working on that, and we also talked about.
Go ahead.
On the implementation side, Jeff, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Sorry, talking to a muted phone. On the implementation side, I mean, what we need to figure out is what type of queries we want to support. So, for example, we want to be able to query specifically on a measure and the number of subjects that have that measure available. We'll need to have a specific field within Elasticsearch. I mean, in a sense, it's sort of like a column database implementation, and Elasticsearch does allow support for that. So that's one thing we'll just need to test, and we can test for that off the sample data.
But this is something which we also talked about twice. Is one of the things that we can't do is run the statistics on the fly. It's something that has to be either repository provided, or if we have access to the data, that we pre-compute the statistical measures that we want to provide to the users. And one concern was also, which George raised, was the fact that potentially, due to privacy concerns, not all of the measures would be allowable in a public website, even for general aggregated display. So he said that they would talk about it with the KC6 working group, but I think George also sent out like an email, right, where he had put together a paragraph with regard to the question that we wanted to ask. So Jeff, did you take a look at that?
Which paragraph was it? Sorry, it's.
So this is basically talking about.
The paragraph that was sent out. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
So this is exactly what we were going to ask them, right?
Yeah. This was a question to the work group, to KC6, right? Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, so I think I'll probably get back to him and say that this sounds like the question we wanted to ask.
Yeah, and we'll hear back then. If there are any other issues that they might think about.
So that's the basic update. I've recorded the meeting and I'm going to upload it to BioCADI website. And I will actually send out a link to everybody in the core development team. So I know Alejandra wanted to catch up with it, and I will upload it today after this meeting, Alejandra.
Okay, thanks.
So was there anything else that happened in the meeting that we need to talk about?
No, I don't have anything.
So just one quick question, Jeff. So for the ICPSR data, you just want me to reshare that with you, right?
Yeah. I think what we're going to have to do is rerun the transformation, because it looks like, because there are multiple transformation files, and it looks like the wrong one was picked up for the last update, because we had implemented the ICPSR fix for Dataverse in a prior run. So you'll be getting that next week as well.
Okay. So we talked already about the DAX output that Sirat is going to work on. We'll have a review of that. And with reference to the ranking algorithm, Jing is going through that so that we can implement it. And we actually received the code and documentation, which were updated by the Emory group. So Jing is working on implementation of that. So we already heard Zhongcheng's about his work. And the only other new functionality that we wanted to implement was the alerts to new results from saved searches. We haven't started working on it, but once we are done with a couple of the other things, I think we can get back to that. Besides that, I think there is nothing, no more from my end that we wanted to discuss. Did anybody else have anything that they wanted to talk about? Also, please do remember to deposit all your codes in GitHub. You can definitely create a repository if you need to, because that is the main outlet for us to share the information. And the second thing is, if you are not comfortable at this point, if it's code in development that you want to store there, you are always free to create a private repository initially, which can be made public later on. So we can still do that. If there is no other issue, I think we are done for the day today. And Madhuri and Alejandra, maybe we could talk a little bit about the transformation mapping.
Sure, yes.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. So, Alejandra, Madhuri,
yes.
Madhuri, are you on the call?
Sorry?
Madhuri, you're on the call, right?